Hello everyone, welcome to another video from TechMag. This is Kaveh, and in today's video we are going to talk about the Chinese AI models that have recently becoming very popular and are now in serious competition with models from Anthropic, Claude and GPT. And the thing is, they are often at a fraction of the cost with the same level of performance. The four models that we are going to discuss today are Kimi, GLM, DeepSeek and MiniMax. I have gathered the most important information about these models, including their response speed, intelligence ranking in LLM leaderboard, their API and subscription prices, context window, and coding or agent tools, or anything that you need to know about these. So as you can see, I have gathered all the information that you need and I have organized them all in a Google Sheet. So you can find the link of the sheet in the description of the video if you want to explore the full comparison yourself. Keep in mind that these prices, model names, ranking, and usage limits can change very quickly. So they are introducing new models every month and they're changing their prices, and the information in this video is based on the comparison at the time of the recording. So always check the official website before subscribing or using any of these API for a real project. Now, unfortunately, most of these providers no longer offer completely free plans for their coding agent. However, their token pricing is still very competitive and they give you the same level of performance with a fraction of the cost, as I mentioned before. Some of them also provide free chat websites, including DeepSeek and Kimi, but I don't think they will be free forever, and they definitely have some limitations if you're on a free plan. Now let's take a look at each model one by one and compare them. Now let's start with Kimi, which is developed by Moonshot Ai company. So Kimi K3 is actually the smartest LLM among these Chinese models that we are discussing today, and the max version is ranked 7th among the models listed on the LLM leaderboard in artificial analysis website. So if you compare Kimi K3 Max with the intelligence index of 60, it sits next to GPT 5.6 and Opus 5 and somehow maybe Fable. But as you can see, the cost per task for this model is at around 84 cents. However, Kimi K3 has one important disadvantage, and that's its response speed. So if you compare this response speed, which is median token per second for like a certain task, it's 39 tokens per second, and it's almost maybe somehow half of the speed of the other models that it's trying to compete. So the API token cost for this model is $3 for input tokens and $15 for output tokens. And for the K2 versions like K2.5 and K2.6, it's 95 cents for input tokens and $4 for output tokens. So there is a free tier limit in their chat section in the website, which is 3 to 50 messages a day, which resets every day, and it's not enough at all. But if you want to use their API, I think the K2 version is good enough, like the pricing is good enough, and you don't lose much performance if you are trying to a repetitive task or trying to, I don't know, transfer or gather some information from a large data set. Kimi does not provide a full standalone coding agent application for itself, but it does offer a command line interface and an official VS Code extension. So when you install Kimi in VS Code, the interface looks similar and normal to any VS Code environment with an additional chat section, but you have to have an active subscription in order to use it. So it does not let me or allow me to test the application itself, test the extension itself, because I do not have an active subscription. So let's just move ahead and go to the next model. Now, the best thing about GLM models is actually their speed and their token per second response, which is 143 for GLM 5.2. But another one is that they offer an always free API for GLM 4.7 Flash, which you can check it out in their website and see if it still works. It was working until last night that I checked and I created this sheet, but I don't know now, so you have to check it. But they say that it's going to be always free. Now, the intelligence rank for GLM 5.2 on max mode is 18th, like it's the 18th model, and their index is 53, which is comparable to Sonnet 5 and GPT 5.6 Tera. However, Sonnet on max mode is smarter, but if you compare it to Sonnet, I think in lower modes, I think this is better. The thing is, the cost per task for this model is 31 cents, just like the GPT 5.6 Tera. And it offers the same level as Sonnet, so it can be a good replace. Also GPT 5.6 can be a good replace, but GLM 5.2 is also very, very good. So you can see their token prices for input tokens is $1.40 and $4.40 for output tokens. But if you go with 4.7 Flash, it's always free, which you can use it right now. And for 4.7 Flash X is 7 cents for input tokens and 40 cents for output tokens. So Z.ai has its own coding agent application, which is called Z-Code. So it's for editing codes, or I don't know, vibe coding or anything that you like. And it has its own application, but I cannot use it because I have no model available and I need to have an active subscription. Now, the third model that we are going to talk about is DeepSeek, which is highly popular because of its extremely low prices and surprisingly strong performance. So here you can see the pricing of DeepSeek V4 Flash and V4 Pro and everything that you need to know about it. So according to the table, DeepSeek costs approximately 3 cents per task for Flash model and 5 cents per task for Pro model. But the intelligence index for the Flash version is much higher comparing to Pro. Apparently the Pro version tends to overthink, or I don't know, do some tasks in a bad way or in a complex way that you don't have to. So Flash is performing very, very good. Many people are using their API because it's just so cheap. As you can see here, for Flash it's 40 cents for input tokens and 28 cents for output token. So DeepSeek has a chat website, but it does not have a paid version. It's just free and always free. Maybe in peak hours you will see some problems and maybe you will run into a limitation. But if you want to use their API, you need to top up your account. But I think if you maybe charge your account for $10, it will be enough for around a month. Now, if you want to compare DeepSeek with other models, you can see it is next to Gemini 3.6 Flash, and maybe you can compare it with Sonnet or GPT 5.6 Sol. So it's the same level of them, but as you can see, the cost per task for it is 3 cents. It's even lower than GPT 5.6 Luna on max mode, but the whole model is perfect. If you have a project which is very big, it has to create many files, maybe read many files, and think a lot and comes and goes, bring sub agents and something. I think DeepSeek V4 Flash is the best model for you. It's actually not the most powerful Chinese model, but the trade-off between its power and its price is absolutely amazing. So now let's go with the fourth and the last model, which is M3 from MiniMax. So this model, I think, is the worst one. And even though it has some features and it's a capable model, but the ranking, like comparing the rank to its price, to its API, and the subscriptions, and it has, I don't think it's a very good model. And for other Chinese model, we also have a model from Xiaomi, and we also have a model from Qwen, which is from Alibaba Group. But since these four models have had their own extensions and their website, and I was trying to focus on an agent section and their coding section, so I chose these four models. They are good enough. They're not bad models, but if you like see M3 in the leaderboard, you can see that it has an intelligence index of 45. It's much weaker than GPT 5.6 Luna or Terra, and they are even cheaper. So if you get API from OpenAI, it will be much cheaper to get an API from MiniMax, which is a Chinese company. So we expect this Chinese company to have much lower prices. And even if you want to get a model from a Chinese company, I think it would be still much better to get one from Kimi or DeepSeek. So if you want the most affordable option for API usage and coding, I would recommend DeepSeek. It is cheap, capable, and compatible with many popular coding environments, but it does not have its own coding environment. So you just have to use their API and connect it to your code environment like Cursor, VS Code, and maybe Codex or anything that you like, open code, anything that you want. And there are definitely extensions for them as well, and you can use them. So it might be a bit difficult to start for the first time for people who do not have experiences with APIs and everything, but I think it's just worth the effort. If your priority is intelligence and advanced reasoning, Kimi K3 Max is probably the most interesting option, especially with 1/5 of the price than Claude Opus and Claude Fable. So I hope you enjoyed the comparison of Kimi, Z.ai, DeepSeek, and MiniMax video. If you have any questions about LLMs or AI agents, make sure to leave a comment below and I will do my best to answer as soon as I can. I will see you in the next video.